Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to an open door and welcome to Thursday afternoon at an open door, where we host Finding the Advaita or the Non-Dual in A Course in Miracles. We are on chapter 9, section 2, which is, if you have the purple book, is page 329. So, and I'll repeat that as we get started, but you can get yourself onto that. Jerry, do you have the purple book? Are you all set with that?
No, I just had training wheels delivered the other day, but not the purple book.
Okay. All right. Well, we read. I think we're just going to read two paragraphs at a time. Um, and so listen, and then we'll discuss what the two paragraphs mean. And Jerry, if you need a book, we can send you a book. Jerry?
I'll get it. I'll get it. Thank
Okay.
you, though. Thank you, though.
Okay. All right. Super. Okay. So, everyone, let's just settle in. We're going to spend the next hour reading and contemplating together. So, I know everyone is in their favorite seat, but just get comfortable in your favorite seat and settle in. It's 4 o'clock, and most of us have had a day. So, lots going on in this world. So many little magnetic emotional possibilities for us to attach to. So, just for the moment, let's just sink in and let the silence help to loosen whatever has attached to us during the day. Just loosen up and drop off, let go. My husband is outside stacking wood and he's got the radio on, so I'm sure you can't hear it, but I can. So let's open ourselves to each other's presence as the impulse comes together. The impulse comes together, and the quality of how we are together and how we talk, how we listen, and how we share. This is our gift to the world. The purpose of every gathering is discovered in the gathering, in the moment itself. But it is always the same. The purpose of every gathering is to recognize beauty and to love what is beautiful. And truth is always beautiful. And so we converse, and conversation and listening rise out of every particle. It is all alive. Welcome to this empty table, a cleared place where something new can happen. When we take the hands of someone we love, what do those hands become? And so let us take each other's hands across the space and the time, and let us listen and talk together about hearing God's answer in everyone. This section in chapter 9 is called the Plan of Forgiveness. The Plan of Forgiveness. And this is hearing God's answer in everyone. And this section begins with the idea of prayer. And it tells us, okay, May, thank you. May says she's going to have to leave a little early. We're always happy to have you here, May. So this section begins with the idea of prayer, with prayer as request. And it tells us that most requests, most prayer is for something that we think we need in order to be safe or comfortable or happy. And then it reminds us that the purpose of the Course is to escape from fear. And so it says prayer will not be answered in the form of something that reduces fear by eliminating the fearful thing. Because that would defeat the purpose of the Course. Right? Because if prayer eliminated the fearful thing, it would be teaching you that the fearful thing is something to be afraid of. And so it won't do that. But at the same time, it will tell us that all prayer is answered. So what does that mean? All prayer is answered. So let's see what God's answer to prayer looks like. And the next few sections really spell this out. So normally we try and read more than one or two paragraphs, but I think I'm going to ask us to stick with reading 2 paragraphs today because some of these paragraphs are pretty juicy. So Chuck is going to start us out, if he would, with reading on page 329 with the purple book. Is everybody on the page? I'll put it in the chat right now.
On the page, but I don't know where on the page you want me to.
All right, we're on.
I have the section 2 I'm looking at here in
We're on
God's
that
answer,
we're on the first paragraph.
where it starts with everyone who has.
That is right.
You ready for me to go?
I am. Everybody on the page? Okay, take it away. First 2 paragraphs. Thank you.
Everyone who has ever tried to use prayer to request something has experienced what appears to be failure. This is not only true in connection with specific things which might be harmful, but also in connection with requests which are strictly in line with this course. The latter in particular might be incorrectly interpreted as proof that the course does not mean what it says. But you must remember that the course does not state, and repeatedly, that its purpose is the escape from fear.
Would you read that last sentence over again, Chuck?
Sure. Starting with but you must, where do you want me to start the sentence?
Yep, last sentence, but you must remember.
But you must remember that the Course does state, and repeatedly, that its purpose is the escape from fear.
Thank you. Underlining the escape.
Underlining escape from fear.
Right. That's right. Okay. And paragraph 2.
Let us suppose then that what you request of the Holy Spirit is what you really want, but that you are still afraid of it. Should this be the case, your attainment of it would no longer be what you want, even if it is. This accounts for why certain specific forms of healing are not achieved, even though the state of healing is. It frequently happens that an individual asks for physical healing because he is fearful of bodily harm. However, at the same time, if he were healed physically, the threat to his thought system would be considerably more fearful to him than its physical expression. In this case, he is not really asking for release from fear, but for the removal of a symptom which he has selected. This request is, is therefore not for healing at all.
Thank you. Okay, so prayer is seen as a request for something, and I can request something I think I want or need, but what I'm asking for is a way to get rid of my fear. And so my prayer will not be in the form I think. Because requests for healing, in this case bodily healing, would only be to serve to reinforce the thought system of the ego, right? Anybody have any thoughts about that? I mean, how many prayer groups do you know of that pray for somebody's healing, a miracle for their healing, right? And when the prayer works or seems to work, we think, see how that worked? But then when the prayer doesn't work and the person passes away, we don't really think too much about that. There's not a whole lot of discussion about that, is there?
We do a lot of prayer requests in the AA meetings. The failures never get mentioned. Or the seemingly failures.
Yeah, yeah. But the successes always do, right? Always do.
Yeah,
Isn't that
people come in
interesting?
and thank for the prayers and acknowledge the successful
Exactly.
part.
Exactly. Yeah. Carol.
Yeah, great point, Chuck. I mean, and that's ultimately with everything, right? It's just not, and the whole thing with, oh, God blessed me, I survived, whatever. And it's sort of like, well, did God not bless those that didn't survive? I mean, it doesn't really make any sense. And
It,
we also end up just, it doesn't eliminate fear because, okay, so it's just the same thing as striving and searching for something that's going to make me happy. It's just going to keep happening again and again. And am I going to be saved from this? Am I going to be saved from that? And to,
it perpetuates it, doesn't it, Carol?
oh my God. And I think it just gets worse
Yeah.
because you feel like, okay, so I've used up all my good luck, or every thought you think, oh no, did I think a bad thought? And am I not going to
Oh, it's
be
a
saved
field day
from the
for the
next?
ego, isn't it? It's a field day for the ego. Yeah.
That's never safety until
Yeah.
you know that whatever happens, it's all fine.
Okay, I want to stop you on that point because that's a really good place to start paragraph
Mhm.
3 and 4. So, Carol, would you read paragraph 3 and 4?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The Bible emphasizes that all prayers are answered. And this must be true if no effort is wasted. The very fact that one has asked the Holy Spirit for anything will ensure a response. But it is equally certain that no response given by the Holy Spirit will ever be one which would increase fear. It is possible that his answer will not be heard at all. It is impossible, however, that it will be lost. There are many answers which you have already received and have not yet heard. I assure you that they are waiting for you. It is indeed true that no effort is wasted.
Anybody have any thoughts about that paragraph? Okay, Carol, read the next paragraph, and that will, I think, give us more.
Mhm. If you would know your prayers are answered, if you would know your prayers are answered, never doubt a son of God. Do not question him and do not confound him, for your faith in him is your faith in yourself. If you would know God and his answer, believe in me, whose faith in you cannot be shaken. Can you ask of the Holy Spirit truly and doubt your brother? Believe his words are true because of the truth which is in him. You will unite with the truth in him, and his words will be true. As you hear him, you will hear me.
Okay, thank you. What this sounds like is, it can be, this is a little bit confusing. What it sounds like is that it almost sounds like more like separation. And how does my prayer to heal my body or to help somebody else, how does that relate to someone else, to one of my quote unquote brothers? So I want to focus on this a little bit. So in paragraph 3, it says no effort is wasted. So I'd like to just suggest to you that the very act of asking is a release from the egoic thought system. Because what it is saying is it's a step forward out of the egoic answer and into asking for help. Who was the guy, the comedian that we listened to a few Thursdays ago? He said, when I ask for help, I'm opening the door. I'm saying I don't know, right? And so that very act of asking, of saying, I don't know, I need help, that sends help on the way. Now, you may not recognize the help that is sent to you, but that asking is not wasted, right? It's a step towards some other teacher. It says, I don't know, right? So, uh,
So, Amy,
yeah,
and I think sometimes when we look back on life and we realize, all the things that we wanted to be different and everything worked out the way it should. And we realize we don't see it in the moment. We don't see the true, we think our prayer hasn't been answered.
right. And so, Carol, I want to just focus now on paragraph 4 because it addresses what you just said. So it says, if you would know your prayers are answered, never doubt a son of God. Now, let's remember what a son of God is. It's the whole of existence. Everything is a son of God. So what this is saying is, this reminds me very much of indigenous teachings. So when I'm looking for the answer for someone, I might look in a bird. I might look in a tree. I might look in the weather. I might look in a cloud formation, right? Because everything is a son of God. So the answer might be in a form of something I don't recognize. And this reminds me a little bit of when somebody dies and people hear, you know, the butterflies come or a raven comes, you know, those are responses from the Son of God. They are responses from the universe, right? But if they don't come in a form that we're open to, we won't know, right? It says,
Glad you shared that because I was confused about what that actually was meaning, and you just opened it up for me.
thank you. Thank you. So this is actually really a very spiritual answer. It's, it's saying, look beyond the human world, look to
Yeah.
all of creation, all of oneness, you know. Can you ask of the Holy Spirit truly and doubt your brother? And everything is your brother. So doubt that nothing you have asked, and now look for the answer in all of creation. Right?
Yeah. So it's good for whatever might not be preferred for me or what's best for me in my own mind is best for something else. And I am all. So this is just a limited experience of an
Oh,
expression.
oh, Carol. Okay, hang on to that because
Okay.
paragraph 5 and 6 and 7 um, are really going to touch on that. Uh, let me ask John to say what he's going to say, and then I'm going to ask Mel to read paragraphs 5 and 6. Okay, John, what have you got?
Well, I'm just thinking before we move on, because it says this speaks to doubt. Doubt a son of God, or doubt your brother. So, and I've made notes here, and it also speaks to have your faith in him and your faith in yourself. Because if there's any doubt, it implies naturally that I got fear. So I'm actually, when I'm doubting, I'm putting my faith in fear. So like it's useful to remember that, and with this, I've misplaced my faith by putting it putting my trust and my belief in fear by doubting that what I'm asking for is not on its way.
Well, that's true, isn't it? And so fear blinds us, doesn't it? Fear is a barrier to receiving love, right? And so exactly, John, I won't see the love that is coming toward me in whatever form it comes in whatever form my brother takes, right? So thank you. That's right. That's exactly right, John. So Mel, would you
Okay.
take paragraph 5 and 6?
All right. Listening to truth is the only way you can hear it now and finally know it. The message your brother gives you is up to you. What does he say to you? What would you have him say? Your decision about him determines the message you receive. Remember that the Holy Spirit is in him and his voice speaks to you through him. What can so holy a brother tell you except truth? But are you listening to it? Your brother may not know who he is, but there is a light in his mind which does know. This light can shine into yours, making his words true and your mind able to hear them. His words are the Holy Spirit's answer to you. Is your faith in him strong enough to let you listen and hear? Salvation is of your brother. The Holy Spirit extends from your mind to his and answers you. You cannot hear the voice of God in yourself alone because you are not alone, and his answer is only for what you are.
Okay.
Ooh,
So that speaks directly to what John was just saying. Your brother may not know who he is or what it is, right? But there's a light that does know, and that is the light of consciousness, right? That's the light of oneness, right? And so that light can shine into yours if you don't block it with fear, right? Right. And
you know,
then your mind will be able to hear them. I'm sorry, Mel, did you have something you wanted to
oh
say?
no, you just made me think of when you hear like children out of the words of babes,
Yeah, yeah,
somehow that's sometimes that can answer the answer.
yeah, yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah. And so you've asked, and then you cannot hear the voice for God in yourself alone because you're not alone. And so love and trust are synonymous, aren't they? Love and trust are, they're not exactly the same thing, but if I trust that I will be answered and I look for the loving answer in the oneness I know I am, it's going to come my way. And not only
Lori,
that, I'm sorry, I just want to finish this one
sure.
thing
I'm
because
sorry.
I have to listen. I have to listen. And I have to listen when? Now. Right? Now, in the now moment. And so, Chuck, take it away.
I had an experience that I remember kind of taking it as getting through another person an answer I needed from the higher power, but I don't know if it really qualifies. When I got started getting Social Security, I was going to be limited in the amount of money that I could make. And I had been working and for a driver intervention program in relation to my recovery and stuff. And so I, when I got started on Social Security, I was going to have to, I was doing like 5 programs a month. I was going to have to, I thought I was going to have to quit. And I was sending out resumes and doing everything legwork that I thought in the area where I was living to get another job. And I don't want to go too long, but I was just out of saying goodbye to one of the ladies that was a receptionist for us all the time. And I said, this is going to be the last time I see you. I want to say goodbye. I've got to quit and I won't be doing this program anymore. And told her basically what I told you, that I had to quit because I was going to be making too much money. And out of, and I hadn't gotten anything from my resumes or anything. She looked at me and she said, well, because we were doing 5 different locations, she looked at me and says, well, why don't you ask the boss here if you can just cut down to doing 2 instead of 5? And I went, oh my God, I never thought about reducing what I was doing. I said, and I was open to it, but it just blew me away. I said, wow, you just gave me what I needed to hear. And somehow I processed that as the higher power kind of doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. Does that sound like that fits to what we're talking about here?
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Yeah. Thank you for that. I don't think John still has his hand up. So, Cindy, what have you got?
Well, this is for me as much as ever, and this is for me. And since there's only me here, um, there's just this recognition that life is a prayer. And so whenever, because there are certain things going on right now where my others in the world seem to be pressing my buttons. And as this conversation was going on, I recognized that for me, very personally, I'm asking to be shown all the places within me where I'm holding a belief in separation and where I'm blocking myself. And I'm just saying out loud that right now, life as a prayer, these others who appear to be pissing me off or irritating me or creating fear in me or whatever, they're an answer to a prayer. They're showing me very, very clearly where I'm believing the world is true, for instance. And so um, there's a lot of different, it's not necessarily personal. It's every interaction, right, is on this level when we get real quiet and answer to the prayer that is our life. And so I'm really grateful to be able to say that out loud. Does
Mm,
it make sense? Am I communicating what I'm?
makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll always get what you ask for.
But we don't always know what we're asking for, so we might as well look at what we're receiving, right? That's really consciously so much of our interaction with the world is unconscious. So I don't know what it is I'm asking for. I don't know what I'm asking, but if I really accept that, then I can accept that the world is answering the prayer, answering what I'm putting out there. And when I get real quiet with that, something new arises here, some new opportunity to let go of something. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I jump in? Can I jump in for a quick sec? Because this kind of speaks to what we were talking about earlier on today. Because for me, when Cindy talked about that, about her prayer the whole life and not knowing what she's asked for, we know what we've asked for by what we've got, by what's showed up for us. We have asked for that. That has been our prayer. And the prayer, the word itself, is totally, Amy, in my humble opinion, totally synonymous with the word imagine. Image. Image and prayer are the same thing, exactly the same. I get what I'm imaging. It's on its, hey, just hang on, it's on its way. Just it's on its way. Don't worry, John. And whether I've done this consciously or unconsciously, my life is the result of my images and my prayers. I just wanted to just add that to the conversation.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Who wants to read paragraph 7 and 8?
I do.
Okay. You're gonna have to stop eating though.
You will not know the trust I have in you unless you extend it. You will not trust the guidance of the Holy Spirit or believe that it's for you unless you hear it in others. It must be for your brother because it is for you. Would God have created a voice for you alone? Could you hear his answer except as he answers all of God's sons? Hear of your brother what you would have me hear of you, for you would not want me to be deceived. I love you for the truth in you, as God does. Your deceptions may deceive you, but they cannot deceive me, knowing what you are. Your deceptions may deceive you, but they cannot deceive me, knowing you what you are. I cannot doubt you. I hear only the Holy Spirit in you, who speaks to me through you. If you would hear me, hear my brothers in whom God's voice speaks. His answer to all your prayers lies in them. You will be answered as you hear the answers in everyone. Do not listen to anything else, or you will be here, or you will not hear truth. Believe in your brothers. Believe in your brothers because I believe in you, and you will learn that my belief in you is justified.
Okay. Thank you, John.
So I'll just say quickly before I forget, what I got out of that is top of the voices is it's just to remember that whatever communication I'm getting, it's either an extension or a cry for love, and that's the Holy Spirit. That's all I'm hearing. That's the voice of the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
That's what I got out of those two paragraphs.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Livy has her hand raised.
I just have a question. So it's like sort of my understanding is when like I'm on these meetings and I hear you speak, that it's actually me talking to myself.
That's right.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm that. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yes, I'm going to read this paragraph again because it's a little bit confusing. So I just want to read some of these lines again and then focus a little bit on them. You will not know the trust I have in you unless you extend it. So remember, giving and receiving are the same, right? So unless I extend the giving, I can't really know what receiving is. And unless I receive, then I can't really know what giving is. And the same is true for trust. So I won't know because this is experiential, right? So when I trust, I know what trust is, and then I can extend it, right? So you will not know the trust I have in you. Yes, not just in the meetings, but also in the neighborhood and with our families and the grocery store. Exactly. You will not trust the guidance of the Holy Spirit or believe that it is for you unless you hear it in others. So I must see the oneness in the other. I must see that the other is my teacher, even though I don't seem to like what they are teaching me. I have to see them as my teacher, right? And trust in that. And so it's what Jerry said earlier this afternoon or this afternoon. I don't like what my child, the other son of God who is myself. I don't like what they're doing or how they make me feel. But I trust that what they're doing is for me in some way. It is showing me something in me that needs healing. Because if I don't see them as completely healed, as the one, then my vision is not perfect, right? My vision is not truly of oneness because I'm still perceiving that they can be hurt. So that's just an example. It must be for your brother because it is for you. So the teaching goes two ways, right? It's for everyone, always for everyone. And that's what Cindy said. My life is a living prayer, and so is yours. And we're all praying for the same thing. And that prayer is the extension of love from ourself to the other, for them to receive it and give it back to me. This is the song. It's the song of love, right? And it's one big prayer.
I think, yeah, what I remind myself constantly is that even if I'm not thinking about it, like the perception is still true. The truth is true, regardless of whether our perception is encompassing of it. And that's the same thing with prayer and attention and like attitudinal kind of shifts in our awareness where when we remember that it's an inherently spiritual reality, like we're able to navigate it a little more smoothly or with a little bit more of like a mellowing or just like a like presence, like just being able to understand that it's just it's like what Carol says, it's just happening.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that this says, do you think, would God have created a voice for you alone? Right? And how many prayers do we think are just for us? It's like, I'm going to knock on God's door and have a private conversation with God, right? And then God's going to hear me and God's going to send something back just for me, right? The title for this is Hearing God's Answer in Everyone, right? So Mel and then John.
So don't you think prayers ultimately come down to maybe the same thing? I mean, it might take the form of different forms, but isn't it always asking for support and love or connection and communion and yeah.
Yeah.
And, okay, that was
Yeah.
what you
I
made me
mean,
move
just
on.
what it's always a call for love, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And recognizing our brother is us and has the same, request.
It's the same prayer. Yeah. John and then Jerry.
So the thing that comes up for me is two things actually, and when Cindy comes on and she teaches us, and she's saying that the things in her life at the moment have got some Jim Dandy triggers. I think I heard it something along those lines. The only appropriate answer for that is thank you. Thank you for those triggers, because that's the Holy Spirit telling me offering me the story that I need to examine for myself. And the same thing goes for Jerry Boy walking away from him. Thank you, son, thank you. This is a story about my life, and I heard that this morning. Where do I walk away? Where am I not present? Where do I want to run like hell just to get the freaking hell away from here? Where do I do that in my life? All over the place. So where am I afraid? Yeah, this is the Holy Spirit showing us, right in front of our eyes, with our family members, what's going on. So that's what came for me, and I took the liberty of sharing it with you.
Thank you. Thank you. And ultimately, isn't it just me showing me? Because this is finding the Advaita or the non-dual in A Course in Miracles. So it's always God's being communicating with God's being, and it's all itself. And it's having so much fun relearning that it is always itself, recognizing itself in everything over and over again, and healing itself through healing seemingly separate aspects of itself in these situations that no one could even begin to imagine.
Right. Thank you, Amy. That is the next step, and it's so important to be reminded about that. This is my story about myself.
Thank you, John. All right, Jerry, you're up, and then Carol.
I don't have that book, so I'm not real familiar. But I guess just what I want to say is I appreciate the whole kind of conversation about prayer. Kind of in more of a macro sense and maybe not in the micro sense that you're all talking about, but macro as far as it's helped me because approximately, I would say 8 to 10 years ago, I was in a weekly Course in Miracles study group. We went to this church and we met every week, and a discussion about prayer, and somebody said out, if you're praying for this or that, then you totally believe in separation. So don't ask, because you're just showing that your ignorance, or you're believing in separation. And that was kind of like a vehicle that was totaled, but you fixed it and they kept you running, but it was kind of mortally wounded, say the car was thereafter. And that's how my prayer life has been. It was kind of very wounded, and I kind of picture it, is throwing a bunch of stuff on the table and praying for praying for everything and anything is what I'm hearing more so, you know, because before I was afraid to throw stuff up on the table. Oh, if I'm thinking like this, I'm thinking like that, then I'm not believing. It just severed communication with the Holy Spirit.
Wow.
It just
Yes.
severed that communication. So,
Yes.
when you talk about fear, I mean, I have a lot of fear, and even that I throw up on the table, because a lot of times I can't discern the difference between fear and care, you know? And so at this point, I'm just throwing everything on the table and communicating and I guess that's my point. I'm learning to communicate intimately with the Holy Spirit and not worry about what the hell I'm saying, is if I'm thinking right or if I'm thinking wrong. because
Yeah.
that's really have I been for the past 10 years. And so this conversation, so I appreciate the intimacy of opening up communication in all ways with the Holy Spirit, because mine has been blocked in so many ways. Thank you.
Thank you. And the Holy Spirit is really just your higher self. And so, yeah. And if what is it? You just can't keep things hidden. And so what do we take a look at last week was the statement, and it's somewhere in here. I don't know what I am. I'm paraphrasing here. I don't know what I am. I don't know who I am or what I am or where I am. I don't know what anything means. And just saying, show me what I am. And open, 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 and then going into the silence and letting the silence answer for you. That's allowing, essentially, the Son of God is in that silence, right? Because the universe, it's all God, it's all source, and it's going to answer in the most perfect way, which is what we heard right in the beginning of this reading. I love this. You will be answered as you hear the answer in everyone. If that's not a non-dual statement, I don't know what is. You will be answered. Carol, what have you got?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the non-dual goes, when we recognize that time isn't what it seems, and it's just the one experiencing a specific time frame and bundle of experiences. And you can just see that it's just, and we experience it when we experience the joy for somebody else, for somebody else's joy. When we just are happy for a seeming other person. That's the recognition.
Yeah, and that's a happy learner, right? That's being
Yeah,
a happy learner.
absolutely. And
Yeah,
it's like, so why would you see that and you recognize that, yes, it's just one. And knowing that the mind is working on a time basis with specific experiences coming from specific conditioning, it just comes down to, just because I'm not going to experience everything directly through this particular lifetime, but other I'm experiencing through all other lifetimes, but only aware of this
exactly.
particular one.
And so,
So
yes,
yeah,
yes. And so, I'd like to get somebody to read paragraph 9 and 10, because that takes us, Carol, into not just experiencing what the limited personality seems to be experiencing in this lifetime, but also opens it up into a broader view of what experience itself is. And so, I don't know, maybe Livy could read paragraph 9 and 10 on page 332 if she would.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Okay.
Believe in me by believing in them for the sake of what God gave them. They will answer you if you learn to ask truth of them. Do not ask for blessing without blessing them, for only in this way can you learn how blessed you are. By following this way, You are looking for the truth in you. This is not going beyond yourself, but toward yourself. Hear only God's answer in His Son's, and you are answered. To disbelieve is to side against or to attack. To believe is to accept and side with. To believe is not to be credulous, but to accept and appreciate. What you do not believe, you do not appreciate, and you cannot be grateful for what you do not value. There is a price you will pay for judgment, because judgment is the setting of price. And as you set it, you will pay it. If paying is equated with getting, you will set the price low but demand a high return. But you will have forgotten that to price is to value, so that your return is in proportion to your judgment of worth. Wow.
Hmm. Any thoughts about that one?
Wow, summarized it pretty well.
So this is kind of what Carol was pointing to in the beginning, paragraph 9. So when I believe in oneness through my belief in the seemingly separate other. I believe in oneness, believe in me by believing in them for the sake of what Source gave them. So when I believe in the other, I am actually believing in myself. And then that is reinforced in my experience. Do not ask for blessing without blessing them. Right? Don't ask just for what you think you want. Bless the other as well, because at the very least, they are your teacher. At the best, they are your companion on the walk home. And at the very best, they are simply you in another form, right? And so to disbelieve that, which is in paragraph 10, is to side against them. To disbelieve that they are you is to attack them. And that is actually attacking yourself. And then the price you will pay for that will be high because you're not valuing them, right?
And by the way, if I attack anybody, I'm in fear right there.
Exactly. Carol.
Yeah, it's really just saying the same thing as you're making a judgment. You're saying you know what's going on. You're labeling, and you can't set a value on anything. How can you do that? Everything is as it is. When
Unless you believe in separation, right?
exactly.
Unless you perceive
Yeah.
separation.
So that's, why nothing need be done, because it's just let it be is ultimately, and notice. And that includes everything. There's nothing really, it's just playing out, and let it play out.
It's also to value, isn't it, though? It's to value the oneness. It's to love the oneness. It's to,
Yes, and to love the separation too, to love the experience of the separation.
but that
Because
doesn't
it is
mean
sorry, yeah. What?
I might love the experience of the beauty in the apparently separate thing, but it doesn't mean that I have to love the suffering when I believe in separation. And I think there's a distinction
Right,
that we
yes.
need to make there.
it's the awareness that I am in an experience that is time and space. That in itself is separation. It's not denying,
Yeah.
and knowing that, knowingly experiencing that, knowingly, it's like playing cops and robbers, really.
Yeah. Loving the unique expression. Yeah.
Yeah, which is really just appreciating every detail.
Yeah. Cindy says separation and fear are connected. Where there is separation, there is fear. Fear arises in love, and yet it is the denial of love. Yes. Isn't that a paradox? Yeah. Yeah. So we get to have the experience of being the robber and the experience of being the cop and not knowing that it's all just a play, and how beautiful it is when we realize that it's all just happening within the oneness we are. Right? Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, so Jerry, I would invite you to join us on Thursdays if you can, and to ask for this book because it will really help you as as we go along. But the choice is absolutely yours, and we welcome you either way. Either way.
Thank you. The purple book is different than the blue book.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It is, the purple book is it's what is called an annotated version. So it's taken directly from the original notes that Helen took. Right. It's her direct downloads. And when
Gotcha.
she directly downloads, she and Bill Thetford, when they typed all the notes up, they edited them a little bit. In their view, the edits were guided by the Christ mind, but the purple book is just the raw version of what she wrote. And then the Circle of Atonement folks made some annotations and some suggestions about how to think about the material. And it's actually quite rich. Yeah. So,
Sounds good. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
thank
you for
you.
the invitation.
Thank you. All right, everyone. We're going to start on paragraph 11, and that will be in wow, that's going to be on the 6th of August. Gosh. Okay. August 6th. So
And while I'm asking, what lesson are you on at Training Wheels for next Tuesday?
next Tuesday, I think it is lesson one. Let's see. It's lesson 122. Forgiveness offers everything I want.
Thank you.
And I'm going to read just a section from that before we go, because I've mentioned the happy learner. And so this is the Son of God right here, right here. And this is what I wrote in Training Wheels for next week. The happy learner cannot feel guilty about learning. This is so essential to learning that it cannot be forgotten. The guiltless learner learns easily because her thoughts are free. And this entails the recognition that guilt is interference and not salvation and serves no useful function at all. And we will be talking a little bit about that on Tuesday. So, yeah. So come, whoever you are, wanderer, fire worshiper, lover of leaving. This is not a caravan of despair. It does not matter that you have broken your vow 1,000 times. Still come, and yet again. And so we'll see you same time, same place next Thursday when we'll continue and probably finish this section 2. All right. Love us. Go out there and have a good time. Break your vows. No guilt.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Cindy. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you all.
All right. See you
Have a
tomorrow at
great
10.
week.
Tomorrow at 10, if you can make it.